What's up, streamers? Welcome back to my channel. TwitchCon is back. What? Super thrilled to hear that TwitchCon is going to be happening in San Diego, October 2022. There's also going to be a TwitchCon in Amsterdam for those of you who are EU. Love y'all so much. And this is super exciting because we have a lot of new pandemic streamers who have started streaming over the last 2 or 3 years since we haven't been having TwitchCons in that entire time. And what I'm really excited for to see just how TwitchCon is going to change with all of y'all who are relatively new to the platform, and of course to have y'all experience what TwitchCon is like and what it's like to actually be able to see your friends in person. So not only do I want to drop this awesome news on you in this video, but I want to give you some really quick TwitchCon tips because I'm sure not only are y'all super hyped, but you're also like, oh my god, it's either my first TwitchCon or I've never really done TwitchCon well. How do I do it well? So I'm going to give you some just quick information in addition to this news. The first thing I want to talk about is COVID. I'm hoping by this time most people are vaccinated. We're going to be masking up, I'm sure. However, because the gaming industry is relatively progressive and pretty left-leaning whenever it comes to US politics, of course, this means that more than likely most people will be vaccinated. So I am less afraid of hanging out in TwitchCon versus hanging out at a Republican National Convention. Not that I'd really go to one of those anyways, but it's a very different group. So I think compared to average, TwitchCon is going to be relatively safe whenever it comes to COVID, pandemic, and vaccinations. I do hope that there's some level of vaccination requirements, and I don't want to get really political in this video. However, I don't want y'all to get sick, right? So whenever you go to conventions, you naturally are going to get sick. Most people come back from a convention and they have some kind of flu or some kind of sickness just because they've been around lots of other people. This is very common. There's literally a Twitter handle called @PAXPox because anytime you go to PAX, you get freaking sick. Most people do, unless you have like pretty awesome immune system. So COVID's super important. Let's make sure that we are still washing our hands and taking care of our bodies so that we don't infect other people and potentially send them to the hospital. The second thing you want to think about is business cards. Now, business cards are a little divisive if they're, important or not. I think it's always better to be safe than sorry. So I have gotten stacks and stacks of business cards from TwitchCons that I've attended in the past, and to be honest, a lot of times I just end up throwing them away. However, that was early on in my career as a streamer, and now I think business cards have a really great use in that they remind you of conversations that you had with people and remind you to reach out to people who you had good conversations with to see about following up on collaborations or ideas that you had whenever you were talking in person. So do recommend y'all get business cards. You can use vistaprint.com. There's a bunch of other websites you can use for this. Whenever you design your business cards, of course, make sure the front looks beautiful. It has your links, your Twitch links, social media, any other places you're creating content. But if possible, make the back of that business card white and remind people whenever you're meeting with them that they can write little notes on the back of your business cards so that they can remember what you all talked about. This will lead to them having a higher chance of following up with you, which is very important that you do. So as you are collecting business cards and having these conversations, please remember to follow up because ultimately that's where all the opportunity comes from. If you don't follow up, you kind of lose out on all of those cool ideas that you had with other creators and businesses. My dog has really bad allergies and it's fall where I live, so he is chewing himself to death. We're going to the vet tomorrow, the dog tour, shall we say. Next thing we're going to talk about is Party Pass. So whenever you buy your tickets, which are going to sell out very, very quickly since we all haven't been around each other for the past 2 or 3 years, the tickets will probably sell out. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened on the first day. Make sure that you make a solid decision about getting the Party Pass or the VIP or whatever TwitchCon, TwitchCon after party access. So, something that I really enjoy about TwitchCon is the after parties. It's like the last big event of the entire convention week or weekend. And so it's really fun. In the past, they've had Logic perform. They usually have a really popular headliner, which is pretty cool. Maybe a couple of openers. And then there's usually like an open bar if you get the VIP pass. And of course, you're of legal age to drink. Having this party pass or this TwitchCon after party access will make your tickets more expensive, but it is 100% worth it. So highly recommend y'all start saving now so that you can get access to this in addition to hotels. So whenever tickets go on sale for TwitchCon, Twitch usually includes lists of hotels that they have deals with for you to be able to book and to stay at. So 100% recommend that you book one of those hotels whenever you book your ticket because they sell out so fast. It's almost immediate. I promise you. It's going to be so difficult for you to find somewhere to stay if you do not book it basically whenever tickets go on sale. So make sure you're saving up your money now so that you can get both of those things as quickly as possible. Because I mentioned Party Pass and the TwitchCon after party, of course, I need to touch on partying itself. You can only party if you are, of course, above legal age, which is 21. In order to drink at any of these parties, you got to be 21. You're going to have your ID, so make sure you're prepared with all of that. Another thing that you need to know about partying though whenever you're around Twitch is that this is still very much a business convention. You're going to be hanging out with your friends. You're going to have a good time. You're going to probably want to have some drinks unless you're sober. So cool, definitely allow yourself the space to enjoy yourself, but don't get sloppy, don't get gross, and don't like slur your words and get to that level of drunk because it can make you look relatively unprofessional, and companies and creators don't really want to work with someone who can't be professional. So just keep that in mind as you're drinking to try to keep it under control. And of course, don't drink and drive. Stay safe. Make sure you use the buddy system or whatever you have to use. And women, oh my God, please do not leave your drinks anywhere. There is a lot of roofing that tends to happen at these parties, at these industry parties. It has been very bad in the past. I'm hoping we don't see that as much this year because hopefully people will just finally be happy and content with the fact that they get to see their friends. But let's be honest, a lot of these people haven't gotten laid in the last like 2 years, and they're gonna try. So always keep your drink with you. Do not sit it down. Do not let anyone else hold it or watch it for you as you go to the bathroom. If you do, and it's an absolute must, make sure that it is someone that you trust. There will be roofing happening at these parties, I promise you. All right, let's talk about something pretty professional again. Let's get off the partying topic and instead talk about panels. So panels are probably already being discussed, even though TwitchCon was just announced today. A lot of larger creators are probably getting together with their friends, talking about what they want to discuss in front of other streamers. So panels are pretty standard. You usually have like 4 or 5 people that are sitting at a table that's like on a like raised platform. And then there can be 50 chairs in the room. There could be 200 or 300 or 500 chairs in the room, depending on the popularity of the streamers that are presenting. If you're interested in presenting or sharing any information with the streaming community, then definitely do it. Get together with your friends or any other creators that you know and come up with panel ideas. Make sure that they're really engaging and interesting. The more helpful that they are and unique that they are, the higher of a chance you have of your panel being accepted versus just having another how to market yourself or networking 101 panel. The next thing that I will say is see your friends, have a good time. Like, this is the first time that most people are going to be meeting each other in person. One of the things that you want to pay attention to is that people are going to be different from what you expected them to be like. So just keep that in mind, keep expectations relatively normal. And the last thing I have for you, I think, is create a list of companies and creators that you really want to meet. The weekend is going to go by. I assume it's going to be a weekend. It's going to go by very, very quickly. If possible, try to schedule your time so that you see you see everyone that you want to see. I almost said you see and do everyone you want to see and do. not super accurate, but make sure that you create kind of an itinerary for yourself, even if it is a relatively loose itinerary, so you still have time for like random, spontaneous fun. But make sure that you are planning out the companies that you want to meet, the projects that you want to be involved with, the meetings that you want to have, and reach out to those companies ahead of time to get on their books. Each one of these companies are going to have representatives that are meeting with creators at TwitchCon, whether it's like Elgato, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, whoever. They're going to be meeting with y'all. They're going to want to take meetings. So come up with your dream list and approach those companies and see if they have a plan, see if you can get on a list. It might be a little early to do that still, but it's good for you to be prepared ahead of time and at least have the companies figured out that you're going to be reaching out towards once we get a little closer to TwitchCon actually happening. That is it for now. Definitely head over to tiktok.com/@ashnichrist_ if you would like a shortened version of this. Would really appreciate this if you would share, would really appreciate it if y'all would share this video with your communities, with your streamer friends. If we can retweet it on Twitter and stuff, I would really very much appreciate that so that we can get more women prepared ahead of time for the roofies that are probably going to end up happening. Anyways, I digress. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!